Okay. Vlog. Tati's on the vlog.
I just saw the weirdest name.
What? I can't read it, but I did see
My
that too.
diabetic patient's necrotic toe watching us argue about the diet ginger ale I just gave them.
Vibe. So what are we doing today?
So
We're messing up the boiling crab, basically.
we thought it would be fun to make a boiling crab at home.
Yeah.
And, well, a lot of things went wrong.
First of all, we don't have a pot that's the correct size.
For a boil. So,
Second of all, I think we should have prepped everything before we started.
everything happened sporadically.
Really fastly. Let's just be clear that the camera is on a tequila bottle.
Let's just be clear that I worked like 9 hours today, and this is
Yeah.
not how I envision myself looking on the podcast.
Okay, we just have to, this is why we're making this little intro, because we filmed a podcast on Saturday, and then I went to go edit it yesterday, and the first part of it was totally gone, which was an intro, which was our outfit check, which was the beginning of the conversation that we were having.
Classic Tits and Tots. Like literally
Yeah.
every episode something goes wrong,
Facts.
but who cares? Like now we're making boiling crab.
We were gonna remake the whole podcast, but we have a good podcast, I guess.
I think we just can't get to the point where we can talk for 40 minutes straight into the
Yeah,
camera.
especially when we're making boiling crab and it's already stressful.
You want to show them the scene?
We have our drinks. This is what we're drinking: tequila, lemon lime soda, and limes. Oh, I forgot we turned this on.
It's actually kind of working. Like those clumps went away.
Yeah, maybe we just need to cook it more.
Yeah.
Fuck, should we tell them not to get the butter?
Wait, let's see if it actually went away.
Try it. Look
I'm
it.
just gonna lower it a little bit so I can see what it looks like.
I forgot to turn this pan on.
Guys, before there was literally massive clumps, like it was disgusting.
It was not it.
It literally
Here's
looked
our
like
corn, chamoy. This is from last night's Pozole moment.
Okay, I literally can't tell.
So in the podcast last, well, what you guys are gonna cut to, it's gonna be us talking about the Revlon blow dryer and our outfit check. But let's do a Tati outfit check.
Outfit check.
And we
Zara,
want to see me rolling.
One piece.
And we're rolling.
This is a Texas tux, not Canadian.
Is that what it's called?
Bun. Sleek bun.
Glasses.
Glasses by Charles Optometry in Pasadena. Dirty Air Force Ones.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored by Nike.
Cute.
Let's see yours. Oh wait, the fuck. Okay.
Okay, first we have a booby shirt.
Nipple check. Drop it down low.
Check. And then just jeans. And then my hair a little pulled back, but I could pull it forward.
Talk about the earrings.
And some purple earrings. And I don't have any makeup on because I've been wearing makeup a lot lately and I have a huge pimple. And I don't care because skin positivity.
I also have chin knee.
Period.
Oh wait, mask knee. I don't know what I'm trying to say right now. It's so embarrassing.
And here's Trampoline. Meow.
Holy fuck! That is only salt.
Oh my god, let me tell you guys what happened. So,
Fixing this.
okay, I have this grinded salt, okay? And before it was empty because it all had been used. So I went to the store and I bought grinded salt thinking I could just refill this. And then I realized it was like a refill one. And then I like struggled to open it. I finally opened it. And I put all of it in there, and then I was like going to flip it over to grind the salt to put in the boil. And it all opened and fell in the sauce. So that's also something that's going wrong with the sauce right now. The salt got lost in the sauce. Period, loves.
Period.
Period, love.
Period.
Oh my goodness, I can't. A good thing I'm gonna be the one editing this. So embarrassing.
Oh my goodness, dude. I hope I fix this, because that should taste like straight salt. Oh well.
We should have done that the first time. Should we start over?
No. I want to start over.
I don't know.
Oh, what I was going to say about the Revlon blow dryer. Okay, so I also got this for Christmas. Who cares if this isn't an interesting topic to most people? I don't care. It's a life changer. The first time I used it with my hair was like very, very wet, and you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to let it dry like 50 to like 90%. I don't let it dry that much.
90?
Yeah, like almost all the way. But that's for people that have kind of straight hair. If you have curly hair, obviously you don't want to wait that long because then the top of your hair starts getting curly. So when I use it, I'll let it dry like halfway. Yeah. Like when the ends are dry and then like this back part is kind of dry, then I start to use it, and that's when it comes out looking the best.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to, I've only done it 2 times, so I'm still trying to like get used to like figuring out how to make the curls and stuff, like so it's an actual blowout and stuff.
I also read that you're supposed to leave, like when you style it, you use the hot side or like the hot setting, and then you move it to cool when you want to do the styling portion of it.
Wow, so that's good to know.
Is what sets in like the curl at the end.
Yeah.
Isn't that really interesting?
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out. Like, at first I would just do, like, hot, and then I would, like, to get it initially dry, and then I would move to, like, warm to try and, like, you know, get the shape in it. But
that's what happens when you read the instructions. You actually, like, learn about it.
Oh, yeah. I don't do that ever.
I kept the instructions, dude. I'm an instructions keeper. That's a Virgo in me.
What?
I'm serious.
I'm literally like, well, usually I just throw out the instructions and then I Google I YouTube like how to use this. Like I'm a visual learner,
but
so I'm like, oh fuck it.
YouTube it probably didn't read the instructions.
No, they're the ones who read the instructions for everybody.
Yeah.
So then you could just like watch a video. Like you need to know what they're talking about, you know?
I guess. I don't know. I keep the instructions. I'm such a Virgo for that.
For everything?
Not for everything, just things that like I know I really need some instructions on learning how to do. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't keep instructions for a vacuum. No, I probably would.
Because like what if you need to put another handle? But you could always just Google instructions. Yeah. I hate papers. Can I talk about this for a second?
No. Yeah, go ahead.
Is how much I hate physical paper.
Oh, I know why you're talking about this.
Because, okay, so update from last week, I still have my job.
Update from last week, I didn't get fired.
Yeah. They still like me, so. But, like, my man, or the owner of this place, also toxic because he has the exact same name as my ex-boyfriend.
My man.
Yeah. Whoa. My man. No, it's my crazy ex-boyfriend. So then he literally likes to keep physical papers of every single thing. So he was like, can you, like, either email or actual physical mail, like a brochure to all of our clients? And I was like, okay, me realizing how much I'm hunching, sorry. And then I was like, do you have like a mailing list or something? Or like, and he was like, no, you just have to go through the files. And I was like, okay, like, shouldn't be that many files. Literally like a filing cabinet, like fucking so tall, like 4 different things, and it was full. And I literally spent maybe 3 days just going through it, getting someone's address, getting their email, and like, it was so fucking annoying, and I was like, we should just enter this. Then I told, like, the lady who gets the files, like, just hand them to me before you put them away. Like, you guys need to have, like, an online database of all your clients. Like, it doesn't make sense. And then his mom works there and stuff, and she was saying, like, oh, you should see his garage. Like, it's just full of paperwork, and, like, they're moving across the way, and, like, there's so much fucking paperwork, and I hate paperwork. Wait. It's like everything can be online nowadays.
Okay, important question. How old is he?
I don't think he's that old. Like, I don't know how old he is, but he graduated from college in 1996.
Oh, he's kind of old then.
So he's probably like in his 50s, yeah.
So he went to college. He literally started his career without computers, probably.
Yeah.
Or like computers.
But I'm trying to tell him, like, nothing, like, everything is already online, but, like, if you guys create your own database, like, it's not that big of a deal.
Dude, you're going to say that, and then they're going to make you do it.
That's what I already did. That's what I did these past few days.
You made it all online?
Yes, I went through. There was literally 567 patients.
Okay, I understand wanting to have physical copies of things. That's how he works, and he referenced back. But then you also need to have an online one. Back. He doesn't reference it?
Well, I don't think so. Like, I feel like that generation, like, even, like, my grandparents and stuff, like, they would keep so much fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like, when my grandparents, like, passed away, we went through the garage and stuff. Literal just papers. Our tax forms from, like, the 2008, 2007.
Okay, but they don't know how to use computers.
No, but it's like, you don't need that in 2016.
Honestly, I will say, you do need to keep your tax records. You really do need to keep
your tax records. For all the years?
Probably, yes. Especially when you're like a homeowner and stuff like that. I mean, obviously now you can just digitize all of it, but it is very, very convenient.
It wasn't just that. It was like there was schoolwork, school packages, graded papers.
That's weird.
All of this shit. My grandpa was a teacher. It had like all of his old students' essays in it, and like a bunch of random ass shit in this damn garage. And like we just like we're trying to throw it away, and my grandparents' friends came over. We told everyone, like, come if there's anything that you want to keep. They're like, you can't get rid of your report cards. You might need your report cards. And I was like, we don't need our report cards.
Wait, they were saying that to you?
They didn't want to get rid, like, the older generation people that were coming, like, my grandparents' friends were saying, like, you can't get rid of this stuff. You can't get rid of it. Like, this is generational, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, you just need a few things.
I will say, I don't know if I had this conversation with you, but I was talking with somebody about how when you become a parent or when you get older, you become a hoarder.
Yeah.
Because my friend was talking about how he's such a minimalist, like he's going to have nothing in his apartment. I'm like, that's going to be the case, but up until you have kids, then you're going to keep everything. Because right now, like, I have such an easy time of getting rid of my stuff. Like, yesterday I was cleaning out my closet. And getting rid of clothes is one thing, but getting rid of, like, sentimental clothes, like I had my graduation gown, got rid of it. But there's people out there who don't. They keep it. I'm like, for what? You're never going to use it again.
Clothes is one thing, but paperwork, I just fucking hate paperwork, especially, like, nowadays. Like, you don't really need to keep it. Even, like, my mom, like, when we went through her room and shit, I was like, Mom, you don't need this. Like, you're old, like, when she was working at certain jobs and, like, her paperwork from working at, like, her onboarding information. I was like, dude, you don't need this. Like,
it's generational, I think.
Yeah, like,
I think
for sure, that age, like, just keeps everything because they're, like, worried that you might need it one day, but then...
But what would you need it for? Like, I don't understand what you would need report cards
from. It was one time my mom actually fucking needed something because...
See? That's why. She's traumatized.
And now she's like, I have to keep it. So... a few years ago, or like not a few years ago, probably when I was like in the beginning of high school, my brother, he was like going to Spain and he was going to like become a nanny over there. And
I forgot that your brother did that.
Yeah, he didn't go for long because he was smoking. Okay, it's drama. But he needed to get like a visa to go live in Spain.
Right.
And my brother's name is like a really, really Middle Eastern name. So my mom sent in his passport like to get the visa and stuff, and then like he got flagged, and then they like sent my mom a letter saying like he wasn't approved, like he's under suspicion, all this
flagged
shit.
for his name. That's
like everything
up.
Else was normal, like but we kind of know because my dad has a similar name to him. They have the same name, and it's just reversed. But my dad, like, even when we go to the airport and stuff, we were always like getting stopped and searched and stuff. So whatever.
But
then
it's crazy that like that shouldn't be normalized. Like, it's literally just a name. That's really weird. It's
just because we're Arab, but but whatever. Then they sent us a letter saying like you need to prove that your son like lives here and has lived here his whole life. So they said you need to send report cards from when he was in middle school, any soccer pictures, like anything to prove that he was like involved in like U.S. things, like literally the craziest things,
the craziest racist shit.
Yeah, like
make sure he played soccer or baseball, all American sport.
Literally, like my mom had to send pictures of like him dressed in like the like AYSO shit and like a bunch of things, like random ass shit that they wanted just to prove like each year of his life.
AYSO proves your American citizenship.
Like that you like lived here for like a long time. So like that one time my mom's like, what if that happens again? I'm like, oh my god.
Okay,
like,
I have a counter to that because she could have just easily called the schools and got his records because schools keep records of everything. Yeah. So it's like you don't have to keep it as long as the institution that you went to didn't burn the fuck down.
Then this is the issue because then my manager like is thinking the same thing because we have medical records and stuff, and like especially like with a lot of people come to physical therapy for like workers' comp and stuff. Like I understand those cases can take like 10 years, but I feel like things should just last for 10 years and then get rid of them. Like we don't need anything past that.
10 years is okay. Let's not. Okay, I think what happens is they should keep a physical copy, yes, but also digitize it because like what if the place burned down? Then you're fucked because you're like, oh shit, like now everything's gone. You
can send like all of your paperwork to like a company and they just scan everything and then send you back a file.
Yeah.
I literally want to tell him that.
Do it.
Like, I hate that shit.
Dude, do it. You should also tell them like it's less of a liability. Like we don't have to worry about like somebody coming in and stealing medical records or something
happening
down.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can
losing
lose
it, whatever,
really easily. Like I don't understand that. But when I was saying about like people becoming when they're parents, like they just don't get rid of anything. Like it's actually insane, like how you want to keep every little thing. Like, do you think you're gonna be that kind of mom?
No. Well, I don't like clutter. Like maybe I'll keep like certain things just because I wanna like home decor or whatever, just because I want to keep it or like pass it down or something, but not paperwork. I fucking hate paperwork. Like,
yeah, but what about like the cutest little drawing like from
those things are also toxic. Like my mom was like, you can't throw away your drawing. And I'm like, Mom, you have like 20. Like, you can keep 3, whatever. And then, like, you're not even going to look at them. You haven't looked at them since I made them. So then I just, like, threw them out. And I was like, it's mine. Like, I drew them. Like, if you're offended, like, whatever. I'll draw you another one.
You're
like,
saying, like, this is my ownership. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I feel like I was a toxic person like that. Like, because when I was younger, I used to, like, scrapbook a lot, like, everything. And I would scrapbook, like, take my family pictures, cut myself out, like, put myself.
Dude,
it was really embarrassing. And, like, I remember even back in high school, like, probably, like, my junior year, I had the same desk that I had since I was a kid. And I went through it, and it was, I kid you not, I hadn't opened that desk up in years. I opened it up one day and I was like, I need to get rid of all this shit.
Dude,
it was so embarrassing.
I feel like I do have a folder. Like, I have like this one folder at my mom's, and it has like, in middle school, I feel like that was just a thing. You write letters to your friends, or
I would write letters.
You make like little collages and shit, and I would do that. So I do have a folder kept of all of that stuff from like when I was a kid.
Instead of a
one
desk.
folder, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
I was so bad at it, and I'm glad that I'm not that person anymore. I'm really quick to throw things away, but back in the day I wasn't, and like I don't know what it is. I think it's also like people that grow up with not a lot of things and they want to keep everything.
Yeah, for sure. Like, even like in high school, like my room was always fucking a mess.
Me
and
too.
so cluttered.
It's
like
embarrassing.
So much shit. And then I don't know, I think honestly just moving out and realizing like when you pack up your room and like you have to move, you realize how much stupid shit you have, you know, and you're just like, okay, this isn't gonna fit in the car. I'm just gonna have to throw it away. And I've like I said before, I moved like 5 times, like in 5 years or whatever. So moving that many times, I'm just like, fuck it, get rid of it. Like, I don't have room to take it.
I think it's because you move too. Yeah, when you move, it's easy for you to get rid of things. But then also when you start like decorating, you're like, oh, why do I need to keep this? I don't need to keep this. I'm gonna get rid of it. Yeah. But it's just embarrassing thinking back. Like, also how messy my room used to be.
Yeah, literally.
And I would invite people over when it was messy.
And they would have to step over my clothes to get to my bed. Dude, I'm all, sorry, just ignore it. Like, did I just not give a fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I guess kids aren't messy like that, or at least I don't think they are, because you know, you post everything on TikTok, but like for us, I don't think we were like that, right?
Like what?
Like you just post everything about your life online. Like sure, there was Instagram and Snapchat, but you wouldn't like post pictures of your room or like selfies and stuff. So it's easy to be. I don't know. Maybe we're just messy people.
I feel like I would post a lot of things, but back then I don't know. I just didn't care. Like, I feel like I just would, I don't know. Now, thinking about it, because I'm kind of, like, have a little bit of OCD, I literally told Tati, don't go in my room because there's laundry, like, out and stuff. Like, I don't know. Maybe just because I have, like, more anxiety, I need things to be organized, or else I can't
I didn't think it was that bad, but thinking back to how messy I used to be, it is what happens when you move out is you do become, like, a lot cleaner. Like, I remember in my dorm, when you're living with somebody who you don't know, it's like, okay, am I going to be gross, or am I going to be, like, cognizant of, like, living with other people? And obviously, like, I became aware that, like, I can be messy in my own space when it's literally just me.
Yeah, and I'm, like, the only one who has to look at it. I mean, except when my friends come over, but, like,
their
rooms are also messy.
When you live with somebody who isn't like that? That's tragic.
Yeah, I actually can't fucking do.
That's actually so embarrassing. Like,
they don't care. Like, you're saying someone who's messy, right?
When you have a roommate and then, like,
they just don't give a fuck.
Doesn't matter if it's in college or whatnot.
I have lived with some fucking dirty ass people where I'm like, are you not embarrassed? Like, I feel like that also was like what makes me like a germaphobe a bit. Like living with dirty people. Like, for example, this one time I was living with these girls and I didn't know them. Like, I was studying abroad, and then I came back, and I just needed somewhere to live. So, like, I just took one girl's place.
It was like a sublease.
Yeah, and they were, like, all in a sorority together, which, like, I feel like if you've ever been to, like, a frat house or sorority house, like, you can just imagine how messy it was. And it was a really, really cute house.
But usually sororities aren't as messy as frats.
Yeah. Okay. But also it wasn't a sorority house, and only 4 people lived there. Yeah. Like, when I moved in, I was like, okay, like, maybe they just haven't cleaned in a while. And then I was like, okay, like, I want to deep clean this whole house, but, like, it wasn't my mess. So I was like, fuck, like, how many months in can I do this? And I was like, okay, but when are they going to clean it? Like, I was just waiting. Like, I thought, like, they just didn't clean it.
But also the fact that they have a new roommate coming in, you would think that they would clean up at least that one time so they can be welcomed into a clean space. Yeah. But no.
Dude, it was, like, insane. But, okay, whatever. And then I move in, and like, they were just messy. They never cleaned out. They would always leave food out. They would just leave shit everywhere. Like, they never, ever deep cleaned the bathroom. Like, it was in the fridge. Like, there was so much rotten food in it. Like, it was just crazy in there.
In the fridge?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. For food to rot in a fridge, it really means you're.
So, like, the fridge was so disgusting, and I kept saying, like, can you guys clean out your food? Can you clean out your food? No one would ever do it. No one would ever respond to me. And then one day, me and the girl in my room, like, she was cleaner than them. Like, we would say, like, bro, they're fucking messy. Because she wasn't, like, in the sorority with them. So then she was like, I was like, should we just clean it out? We cleaned it out, and I found in the back of the thing, like, a spilled thing of, like, jam or something, like, all the way in the back of the fridge that I knew something was sticky because I couldn't open the drawer because it was sticking to it. And I was like, what the fuck? I finally found this thing of jam. The expiration date was in 2016. No, like, yeah, and it was 2018 at the time. And I was like, bruh, this thing has been expired in here for 2 years. That means they've never cleaned out the fridge.
They lived there that long?
Like, for other people who had lived there too.
Yeah,
like,
so it wasn't even them. It was literally the people that had, like, left their food.
They just never, ever cleaned it. So then I was like, what the fuck? There was an insane amount of rotten food in there. Like, I don't like putting my food in the fridge if it has rotten food because I feel like it's going to make my food, like, contaminated.
It does.
So then I was just like, dude, I could not believe. And then I messaged them and I said, like, we cleaned out the fridge. Like, I just threw away. If anything was rotten or expired, I threw it away. If you guys can deep clean the bathroom now. And literally never ever said thank you for doing that. God. Never cleaned the bathroom ever. Like, literally it was so annoying. And another time I went to Australia for like 2 weeks and then I came back. So I hadn't been there for a while. And I came back and I was like looking in the kitchen. I see some like bugs running around.
Shut up.
And I'm like, I did not just see that. And then my friend came over like the next night and she was like, Brina, I'm sorry, like, to say this, but, like, I think you have, like, a roach problem. And I was like, what the fuck? I was literally, like, I can't deal with that, you know? Like, dude, bugs and shit. And I just felt like they were everywhere. Like, I just felt, like, contaminated,
well,
you know?
The thing is with cockroaches is they repopulate so quickly.
Yeah.
Once you get them, it's impossible.
But there was, like, different sizes. There was, like, medium, small, little ones. And then I was like, bruh, I kept texting them and, like, they never replied. Like, they were not saying anything. And I was like, hello. Like they also had gone on a trip, like, 3 days before I came back. So that means, like, the roaches or, like, the food that was out had been there for, like, all the way until I came back.
That means that they never cleaned up before they left.
Yeah.
And they left everything out.
Yeah.
And the
so no one was there. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is disgusting. And I, was calling my mom, and I had like 2 months left on my lease, so I was like,
a long time though.
Yeah, and I was like, Mom, what do I do? Like, we're gonna need to get this exterminated or something, but like, it's gonna cost a lot of money. And I kept texting them, and I was like, we need to figure this out. No one ever replied, and then I just ended up getting like traps, and it got them all pretty good, and like, I just deep cleaned everything. My friend, like, God bless her, like, helped me, and like, she like did bleach and everything with me. And then they never replied. They came back, and literally that night that they came back, they left a thing of pasta on the stove out. God. They left their bowls with the pasta still in there, like the leftovers. And I was just like, bruh, I literally, if you were to open our group message, it's just me texting, can you clean this? Can you clean this? And then I messaged again, like, we just had a roach problem. Please don't leave your food out. Like, they were fucking, you know, they were just privileged and never had to clean for themselves.
The thing is, I understand people have never cleaned for themselves, but when you're actually, like, they could have hired someone to clean after them if they don't feel like they need to clean up after themselves.
I feel like they genuinely didn't think it was a problem, and they would always have, like, pre-games at the house.
And not
over. They would never tell me. So, like, I would get home from work, and there would be a full party at my house, and people would be drinking and, like, eating my food and stuff, and then when I would, like, be so hungry from work, I would be like, fuck, I'm just gonna make a quesadilla, like, with all these frat boys and shit here. Like, they literally wouldn't tell me, invite me, anything.
It's one thing to invite people over, but another thing to, like, allow them to eat your roommate's stuff.
Yeah, like, they were, like, all using my drinks to make mixers and stuff, and I was like, bruh.
Ew, do you still follow them on Instagram?
No, I never followed them, even when we lived together.
What they're up to nowadays. I never, thankfully, had an experience where I had, like, a really, really messy roommate like that. I do remember, like, times where, like, I was the messy roommate, but not like that. Like, I would just, like, leave clothes and stuff, and, like, it would become an issue.
Clothes is one thing. I understand clothes. Yeah. Food is another.
Yeah, but I also, like, wanted to say, like, that was the first time I was living on my own, and then you realize, like, oh, then you change and then you stop being that kind of person.
Yeah.
But then to be like that 4 years into college, like, doesn't make any sense. Like, I remember I had a roommate who was, like really, really fucking annoying because she would like blame other people for messes, and she would like text us and say like, hey guys, like it's like you guys like left a mess and it's literally like 1 cup, and I'm like, okay, this is
there's also different. Like a super fucking anal roommate.
She
that's
was
just
so
annoying.
anal.
It's
she
just
literally
like chill out, like we are all busy, you know. Like I understand like things, you know, you don't want to leave stuff overnight, but I understand there can be like 1 or 2 things that you're just like in a rush in the morning, you leave it out. It's whatever, you know. And
that's how it would
but
be.
I feel like when you do that, like especially if it's a lot of things, I would text like, sorry, I was in a rush. I'll clean it when I get home. Like if I know it's something substantial. Like but some people are just fucking annoying.
That was just because she was like a mean ass person and she just wanted everything to be perfect all the time. And and also like that's what happens when you live with random people. Is like you don't know how to communicate with them. Yeah. Because I like sure, I could have communicated and said, like, hey, I, like, left 1 cup, but it's also, like, okay, I left 1 cup, and it's, like, I'll be back
1
in, like,
cup?
30
Like,
minutes.
there's so many cups, just use a different cup.
She would be such a fucking bitch, like, literally. Well, thankfully, she would leave every single weekend, so I had the apartment to myself every single weekend, but then she was also very, very anal, like, when she was there, like, let's say it was, like, 10 o'clock and we were playing music, she would, like, turn it off, and I'm like, oh my god, it's literally 10 o'clock, like, I don't know what's your deal, but I'm not gonna turn it off, like,
I also
so
hate, like,
early.
Passive-aggressive roommates.
That's how she was!
When you just, like, say things, but you really, like, I had a roommate who would, like, go in the kitchen and be like, like, I wish there was more counter space. Like, meaning, can you pick up your stuff from the counters?
Why not just say it?
Pick up your stuff from the counters.
That's how this girl was. Like, she wouldn't come into the kitchen. If we were in the kitchen, she would wait until we're done to cook. And I was like, that was so uncomfortable. Because then you feel like you have to rush to cook your dinner. And then they can come in. And, like, I'm just like, dude, this is weird. Like, thankfully, she moved out, like, 6 months in. And, like, we got a different roommate. But still, it was like, I've never experienced something like that before.
Yeah. People are really weird. Like, I always say, like, you never know a person, like...
Until you travel with them?
Or you live with them. Like, dead ass. Like, I think I would like people until I would live with them. Like, I mean, a lot of my friends that I've lived with, like, we're still friends and cool and stuff. Yeah. But there are a few people who I was like, oh, we're cool. And then we lived together, and I was like, you're fucking weird. Like, you're just...
Living with somebody is a different test.
You're cool in, like, small moments, but, like, being with someone all the time, you're, like, fucking annoying and weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of commitment that goes into living with somebody. I never really thought about it that way. It's like, you really see them 24/7, and all of their habits are shown. Yeah. Like, what's the one habit that you wouldn't want to show anyone?
I don't know. I feel like I like to be alone a good amount. Yeah. Like, I feel like, living, like, out... Okay, what am I trying to say? Okay, like, living with so many different people, like, especially in San Francisco, like, I never had my own room. You know what I mean? Like, I always shared a room. It was pretty normal. One time I shared a room with 2 people and stuff. Yeah. So I feel like I would always live with people, like, for a good amount of time, like those girls, and then in other places where, like, I felt like I was living in their house, and it was just really, really uncomfortable. But I feel like them always wanting to, like, hang out, like, sometimes I just need to be alone, and, like, I don't know, I need someone who's, like, also working, you know, or, like, also kind of has a busy schedule so that I can be alone.
I get that. I think I'm just kind of the same way. Like, I do really appreciate my time alone. Like, I live at home, and I live with my family, and it's a pretty big family, but most of the time when I'm home, I, like, spend it in my room. Because I just can't, like, I just don't want to be around so many people, and I feel like when I do go out, it just, not that it takes a lot of energy, but I'm very, like, okay, that was fun. Like, now it's time to, like, recharge and be myself. Yeah. And, you know what, thankfully, I never, like, had a problem with that when I was living with people because everybody was busy, like, in college and stuff. But now that I think about it, it's like, I can't imagine living with somebody and being with them 24/7. Yeah. Holy fuck, that's actually kind of scary.
Especially during quarantine. Like, I feel like so many relationships are even, like, growing stronger, like, breaking up, honestly.
It's
because
one or the other.
I've been hearing, like, a lot about that. It's, like, people, well, maybe they've started their relationship in quarantine and then they've, like, kind of been forced to, like, grow together, and it's, like, such a different way to grow your relationship than previous. Yeah. Or, like, people who kind of already had previous issues, but then, like, always being together, like, you kind of had to face them instead of, like, going to work, just seeing them for a few hours at the end of the night, waking up, and then going to work again.
Or they didn't know they had problems and then realized now that they're together 24/7, like, it's like, oh, you're just, like, constantly on each other, you know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Damn, that is crazy.
I do think that my biggest pet peeve is people leaving stuff in the fridge for a long time when it's rotten. But honestly, like, I think, like, that's, I don't know. I think it's just because I am really conscious about germs and stuff, and it just, like, freaks me out a bit.
But it's also, how do you leave something in the fridge to the point where it's going to be rotten? Like, you open the fridge 3 times a day.
One time I had this roommate. I was gone it was during quarantine. I was gone for maybe a month, and, like, she would order out every single day. Like, she literally was Postmates' biggest customer. And I came back, and the refrigerator was filled to the fucking brim. Like, there was nowhere to even put, like, the Brita. Like, the Brita was on the counter because there was nowhere to put it.
Ew.
Of just old to-go boxes. And I was like, messaged her. I said, I need to go grocery shopping. Can you clean out the fridge? And then no reply. Like, 3 days later, I'm going to clean out the fridge. I need to go grocery shopping. Like, I'm just going to throw everything away. Is there anything you want me to keep? No response. I go to the grocery store. While I'm at the grocery store, she cleans it out, thankfully.
Like, she waited to the last minute to clean that out.
Yeah, until she fucking heard me leave, and she was like, oh, shit, she's going to the grocery store.
She saw you going to the grocery store?
I do not give a fuck, honestly. Like, I will throw away your shit. I don't care.
But,
like,
dude, if you have that many boxes, why not just eat your leftovers before ordering more food?
I know. That is my thing.
It's a simple concept. We're in a pandemic. This is during coronavirus, right?
This is like in March and April.
Like, girl, save your money.
You know, when that 600 plus employment hit different.
No, when I was on unemployment getting that extra $600, I was saving all of it.
Yeah, same. Like,
I was saving
like
all of it. I was
still
lucky
have
enough to do that. I know some people weren't lucky enough to do it. But I was lucky enough to where I was like saving it, and I was like, I'm gonna keep this in my bank account because you never know how long this shit's gonna last.
Yeah, and look at us a year later.
A year later needing it. How, like, in the beginning of the month, we were talking about how we wanted our Januaries to go and, like, how we're going to be more mindful. Do you think you've kept your...
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like a lot of things have happened this month.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I started work.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like adjusting to my work schedule and stuff has been, like, something I've been focusing on. But I feel like I've been a little bit laid back. I feel like before I was like, fuck, how am I going to do my workouts, do this and this and this, and then I, like, told my therapist and stuff, and she was like, it's okay, like, if you have to skip things, like, your body's still adjusting, like, don't be so hard on yourself. So then I just always replay that in my head, and then I'm like, it's okay, like, you are doing what you can, like, it's obviously going to be an adjustment, so, like, adjusting to different things that are happening,
right,
I feel like is good, because then you can't, like, overwhelm yourself.
Right.
You know?
No, that makes a lot of sense.
How about you?
Yeah, I feel like I started the month really strong, and, like, I was really, like, mindful every single day, like, keeping track of my thoughts and my anxiety and stuff, and then the middle of the month, like, things got really, really busy at work, and I got really overwhelmed. So now I'm, like, trying to slow down again and then focus more on, like, my day-to-day, and then also manage my stress, because I think my stress, like, really affects me. Like, it affects my personality, it affects, like, how I look at my day and, like, how I start my day, and I don't like that. Yeah. And it's not necessarily, like, anything that I can control is what I'm telling myself, so I'm like, what I can't control is how I react to things. Yeah. So that's how I'm gonna enter the what does that mean?
Goodbye, see you. Did it die?
I think so.
Okay, we could just do it on the camera and the audio.
Hopefully the audio picks it up. But anyways, I was just saying, like, we're still in January, obviously, so I have one more week of January, but I think as, like, I end this month and, like, enter the next month, I'm gonna focus more on managing my stress and my emotions and how I react to things. Yeah, I feel like also with your job and stuff, like, the stress of your job doesn't stay at work. Like, that's the problem. Work doesn't stay at work. It's like the stress of work comes home with you and, like, in the morning all the time. So I feel like, I know it's harder with your job, but, like, setting some boundaries at work and just being like, when I'm off, you know? And, like, if you want me to do stuff, like, make sure I'm clocked in, you know? Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's something that I've always struggled with. Every job I've had is kind of like that, where I take home my work. Yeah. And I know, like, going into the industry that I work in, that was going to be the case, but I still haven't found a way to manage it, and I'm going to. Like, that's my goal, is, like, really, really focusing on setting boundaries. Yeah. Boundaries, one thing, and then also just, like, being more mindful of my time and things like that. So hopefully that's what happens, because, girl, I've been so stressed out. Yeah. Every day I'm like, oh my god, here goes again. Like, so many things to do, and I have no time, and, like, managing my personal life. Yeah. But I know that I can find a balance. I just have to be more aware of it. Yeah, and also not be so, like, where you put so much pressure that you have to get everything done, and if not, it's, like, the end of the world. Or, like, you know. I'm just also an overthinker. Yeah. That's my problem. I think if I was, like, not an overthinker, then I wouldn't struggle so much. Yeah. So, we'll see. I wish I just, like, didn't care sometimes. Like, I wish I was, like, a easygoing person. Yeah. I'm not. But I think that the reason why I can do my job is because I'm an overthinker, so I'm trying not to like hate myself for it, because I'm like, people that are kind of like careless wouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah, like so they need people like you to do your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Especially like, I feel like in some cases, like I'm kind of a perfectionist. Like I want things to be a certain way, and that's why I have a little bit of control issues. So I feel like also like that's what my job is. So like I kind of, you know, putting it to your benefit instead of just like beating yourself up about it.
That's how I'm trying to think of things.
Yeah.
Look at me being positive about it.
Yeah. Well, that's a start.
For now.
Yeah.
2 days later, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, it's hard because then it's like your whole life, you know? It's like you're just so consumed by your work and shit.
Yeah. I'm just an overthinker. I'm going to stop doing that. Like, I think I'm going to stop my thoughts when I'm thinking them.
Yeah. Just like think that, I feel like you need to like realize and think that you're overthinking. Yeah. You're like, okay, like I'm just reading way too much into it.
I've been doing
I don't
that.
know. I just wish I was sometimes like a person who just like didn't care.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, I always think that like, but I feel like also that's given me a drive to do a lot of things.
We're just not having a good filming day. I mean, not that we ever have a good filming day, but our audio recorder died, so hopefully the camera's picking up our audio.
I think it will, because it always typically does.
Yeah, I just have never heard it by
mute
itself.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so we're just talking about how we wanted to like manage our stress and let's just.
I think I was just saying that I wish I could be more carefree where I didn't care, but I also feel like that's what gives me a drive to do a lot of things. Like I can't start anything that I won't finish.
Pros and cons to everything. You know,
facts.
we can't be perfect people, and who wants to be perfect? I mean me, but
nobody's perfect.
I don't know.
I gotta work it again and again till I get it. We're copyrighted because I'm such a good singer.
We are copyrighted because you sound like Hannah Montana. Okay.
So I need to not do that. Okay.
Let's do thumbnails.
Okay, go a little more in the middle.
Hope you guys like my thumbnails.
Okay, ladies.
See you next week.
Oh, my hair catches on fire.
Bye.
Content!